You finish a hard workout and grab water. You drink and drink. Your stomach fills. But the thirst does not fade. 20 minutes later, you are still thirsty even though you drank half a liter. Your body is losing water through your skin faster than your gut can push it into your blood. That gap between loss and absorption is where people collapse. In 1965, a football coach at the University of Florida asked a kidney doctor a question nobody had thought to ask. Why do our players never urinate after a game? The answer cost $43 to build and created a $37 billion industry. And the science behind it has nothing to do with the color, the flavor, or the logo on the bottle. Dr. Robert Cade studied how the body moves water and salt across membranes. When the coach's question reached him, he pulled football players into his lab and measured what came out during practice. Players lost up to 18 pounds in a single session. 95% of that was water. Plasma volume dropped 7%. Blood volume dropped 5%. The coaching doctrine of the era made it worse. Do not drink during a game. Water causes cramps. Tough it out. Players who asked for water were called weak. Heat stroke was treated as a failure of character, not a failure of chemistry. Athletes died from it every year. Cade spent $43 on the first batch. Water, sodium chloride, sodium citrate, fructose, and monopotassium phosphate. His players tasted it and spat it out. One lineman said it tasted like toilet bowl cleaner. Cade's wife suggested lemon juice. That fixed the flavor, not the skepticism. The proof came October 2nd, 1965. Florida versus LSU. 39 degrees on the field. LSU dominated the first half. Then the heat hit. LSU faded, Florida did not. The Gators went on to win the Orange Bowl that season. The losing coach told reporters the difference was simple. They had Gatorade. We did not. A kidney doctor's $43 experiment had just rewritten the rules of sports science. And it started with a question about why nobody needed to use the bathroom. Here's what Cade understood that nobody else did. The problem was not that athletes needed more water. The problem was that water alone moves through the body too slowly when you need it most. When you drink plain water, it passes into the small intestine and crosses the intestinal wall through osmosis. Osmosis is passive. Water drifts across a membrane from the side with lower solid concentration to the side with higher concentration. During rest, this works fine. But during heavy exercise, you are sweating out sodium faster than osmosis can replace it. The concentration gradient across your gut wall flattens. Absorption slows. You drink more. Your stomach fills. But the water sits there. It is not reaching your blood fast enough. That heavy, sloshing feeling you get when you drink too much water during a run is not weakness. It is physics. The water has nowhere to go at the speed you need it. Cade changed the equation. He added sodium and glucose in a specific ratio. Not random, specific. On the surface of cells lining the small intestine, there is a protein called SGLT1, sodium-glucose linked transporter 1. When sodium and glucose arrive together at the intestinal wall in the right proportion, this protein activates. It grabs one sodium ion and one glucose molecule and pulls them across the membrane. Water follows, not passively through osmosis. Actively, dragged along by the transporter. This is called co-transport. It bypasses the slow passive process entirely. That is why a sports drink can make thirst fade faster than water after a hard workout. The sodium you taste is the activator. The sweetness is the co-pilot. Together they trigger a gate on your gut wall that plain water cannot open. Fluid moves into your blood faster than osmosis alone would allow. But the ratio is everything. Too little sodium and SGLT1 does not fire enough. Too much sugar and the solution becomes hypertonic, pulling water out of your blood and into your gut, making dehydration worse. This is why chugging fruit juice during exercise can leave you more dehydrated than before. Gatorade contains roughly 450 milligrams of sodium and 6% carbohydrate per liter. That concentration is designed to be isotonic, matching the solute balance of your own body fluids, so the transporter works at maximum speed without reversing the flow. The formula today is more refined. Sucrose, dextrose, citric acid, sodium chloride, sodium citrate, monopotassium phosphate, and flavoring. But the principle is identical to the $43 batch. Activate the transporter. Let the water follow. Cade offered the patent to the University of Florida. They turned him down. He licensed it to Stokely Van Camp, later acquired by Quaker Oats, later by PepsiCo. The university that rejected the patent has since collected over $500 million in royalties. Gatorade holds 63% of the American sports drink market. The global industry hit $37 billion in 2024. But the same protein that rehydrates a linebacker in Florida rehydrates an infant with diarrhea in a clinic in Bangladesh. The World Health Organization's oral rehydration solution uses the same SGLT1 mechanism. Same sodium, same glucose, same ratio. It has saved over 50 million lives since the 70s. A football drink and a life-saving treatment run on the same science. The industry Cade created solved dehydration so well that it produced the opposite problem. Drink before you are thirsty. That became the new doctrine. Sports drink companies funded research promoting aggressive hydration. Coaches told athletes to drink on a timer, not when thirsty. In the 2002 Boston Marathon, a healthy 28-year-old woman collapsed miles from the finish. She died the next day. The cause was hyponatremia. Too little sodium in her blood, diluted by the volume she had consumed. She drank too much, not too little. Since then, 16 marathoners have died, and over 1,600 have been critically ill from overhydration. A Harvard study found 13% of marathoners developed hyponatremia regardless of whether they drank water or sports drinks. The science that saved athletes from not drinking enough built an industry that taught them to drink too much. The answer was there before the industry complicated it. Thirst. The mechanism humans used for 200,000 years before anyone sold a bottle. Your hypothalamus monitors blood concentration in real time. When sodium drops or volume falls, it triggers thirst. When balance returns, thirst stops. The system is not perfect, but it kept every species alive long enough to be here. Gatorade works. The SGLT1 mechanism is real. During intense exercise lasting over 60 minutes in heat, sodium and glucose move fluid into your blood faster than water alone. That is membrane biology, not marketing. But for a 30-minute jog, your body does not need a transporter override. It needs water, and it will tell you when. Pay attention after your next hard effort. If water kills the thirst fast, that was enough. If it lingers even after you drink, your gut is telling you the gradient has flattened and it needs help. That is the moment the $43 formula was built for. Not before, not on a timer, when your body asks. $43. A question about urination. A drink nobody could swallow until someone's wife said, "Try lemon." A protein on your gut wall that was there all along. That is the process. We reveal how things actually work, one story at a time. If there is something you would like us to explore next, let us know. Until then, trust the process.